What's up, guys? It's your girl Alexus, Renée, and tonight's special guest on Celebrity Myxer is one of the dopest, thought-provoking lyricists in the game today. He's also a ghostwriter for himself and other well-known artists. He's currently touring worldwide for his album In Celebration of Us. Now let's welcome Mr. Skyzoo to the show.
How you doing?
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh man, I couldn't have set that up any better. I don't know what else do I say.
Totally appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, okay, so tell me, for those who are new to your music,
Right.
Can you give them a general understanding of it and why it's so unique in this era?
So with my music, it's first off, it's based on lyricism. It's based on storytelling. It's based on doing things as far as literature, as far as the way you rhyme, as far as being able to put words together a certain way that matter and that makes sense for now and later. You know, I think nowadays a lot of the music is solely based on now. A lot of the music is what works now, what's hot now, how can we make sure we popping and hot. That's cool, because I look for my music to do that. But at the same time, I want my music to continue to live 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now,
Absolutely.
The way we look back on the music we grew up on.
Yeah.
So my music is rooted in that. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so it's always gonna have that aesthetic to it.
Okay.
And it's just a lyric lover's dream, to
Yeah.
sum it up in one sentence.
Absolutely. And see, I love music that actually has a meaning, that when you listen to it, you can understand the words versus,
Yeah.
what do you say? You don't
Right,
understand
right,
nothing,
right.
but just the beat is good.
Right,
so
absolutely.
I totally love your music for that, because there's
you.
always a message in it, and I love it.
Thank you.
Now, your new album, In Celebration of Us.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that real quick.
Okay.
What separates it from other albums that you've done?
It's very about now. It's very much about now. It's an album of the time. It's music of the time. It speaks on police brutality. It speaks on the state of black people, black culture, our fabric and who we are and what we're cut from, how we got here, where we are now, and where we unfortunately may wind up continuing to be because of the things that have been done to us, and even at times the things that we've done to ourselves. You know, there's such a juxtaposition of everything that we've been going through, and there's such a yin and yang, and it pulls in so many different ways. There's things that have been done to us that led us to where we are, and sometimes we do those things to ourselves based on where we came from. And the music does that for this, and I've never really done it on an album before. I've always spoke about myself and who I am, but this one goes further into what's going on right now.
Yeah, and that's really dope, because there's a lot of different things going on right now that we need to talk about.
Oh, there's a ton.
A lot of things people want to push under the rug, but no, we need to bring this up to the forefront.
That was the purpose. And it's called In Celebration of Us because it celebrates us as a people.
Absolutely.
Who we are.
Absolutely, and I'm totally here for that. Celebrating us, black people.
Absolutely.
We need to do that more.
Believe it.
Now, I know that you just had a baby, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of your music is tailored around your parents.
Yeah.
And so I know they had a big role into where you are today.
Right.
Now, the things that your parents, your dad has rooted with you, is that what you're going to use in raising your
Oh,
son?
1000%. And that's the story arc on the album. Even though it's about black people, black culture, and who we are as a people, the story arc is the things that we go through as a people may be a little easier to deal with if both parents are in the home.
Absolutely.
And that's the story arc of the episode. It starts with a montage of two people that are supposed to be my father and his best friend, and then it ends with me speaking about my father and my parents and how I grew up. Being a young black male growing up in Brooklyn, New York, and my father was one of 3 fathers on the entire block. And I speak about that a lot because it means so much.
Yeah.
Because me having my pops led me to where I am, sitting here with you and traveling the world doing different things, whereas my friends who may have been next door to me aren't as lucky and as fortunate and as blessed because of circumstances that were out of their control.
Absolutely.
Because that male figure may have left the house early, may never been there at all, or the female figure, whatever it may have been. So those things are important, and it's the root of it, you know?
Yeah, and then a lot of times, you know, you have kids that they get on the wrong track because they don't have that father
Absolutely.
figure. And a lot of times men don't understand, I think, how important it is to have them in their children's lives.
And that's what I'm zeroing in on.
And that's amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
All right, so you're currently touring for your album,
Right.
and in select cities you had Talib Kweli on
Right.
the ticket. What is it like creating songs with deep lyricists like him and Jadakiss and Torre?
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing, especially when I'll start with Kweli, since you mentioned him first. You know, him bringing me out on the tour and adding me to the bill and us doing the tour together was amazing because that's someone who I grew up listening to, being in Brooklyn, being from Brooklyn. He's one of the plethora of artists I grew up listening to. So when you say, you know, Biggie and Jay-Z and Boot Camp Click and Brooklyn guys, right? I'm just naming Brooklyn guys. You got to name Kweli and Mos Def. You got to name all these different guys who are part of it. Same way you name Big Daddy Kane. And, you know, it's just so many MCs from the borough who I was able to learn from, borrow from, be inspired by, and build my thing. So with that being said, it's an honor and a privilege, but at the same time, the music is a sport and it's competitive. So when I get on a record with whoever, it could be Kweli, it could be me and you on a record, it could be whatever. I'm going for it the same way they would go for it, the same way you should go for it, and it just makes for better music.
Yeah, because when you have other people on the track with you that they go hard, it makes you go even harder.
You
because
should.
you're like, I ain't gonna let them outshine me.
That's the way it
right?
should be, and I think you appreciate that from one another.
Absolutely.
You know?
Bring
So if
that
we get on a
out.
record together, I know you're gonna rock, but I'm a rock too. So
Look, now don't get it twisted, because I seen you on Freestyle Friday BET. Now I got some
okay.
bars now.
All right, see,
I would.
See what I'm saying? So
you know, wager a little bit, but I'm gonna wait till later. I don't want to outrhyme you tonight, so I'm gonna hold
take
on.
your money. I want to take your money.
Now, okay, so any advice that you can give the young artists today that are trying to make it, they don't want to follow the fad, they want to just be true to who they are.
Absolutely.
What can you tell those young guys?
What I would say is remember that the music is a business, first and foremost. As sad as that is to say, it is the business of selling music. It's the music business. So with that being said, you've got to know where you're at, where you're trying to go, what you're realistically and ideally capable of. What's awaiting for you, what's waiting and looking you dead in the face as far as this industry. You know, the grass being too high for you to see what's in it as far as the snakes and the cutthroat and this, that, and the third. But at the same time, not to discourage you, just to keep you abreast of what's what. And also, love the music first.
Absolutely.
Because the moment you don't love the music anymore and you're only in it for the dollar, you're chasing the dollar, et cetera, is the moment you begin to fail, begin to lose. The moment you begin to lose your footing in your way, you know? So always love the music, always love the craft and what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Do it for the right reason, but also remember that it is the business of music. And if you can balance the two of those things out,
You'll be good,
I think
right?
you'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay, now, besides your album, what else can we expect from you? Because I know you got that album going on, but you got some new projects too?
Yeah, so for the people who know about what I do, I ghostwrite a lot. So my music is one lane, right? It's lyricism and it's quote unquote authentic and true and whatever. But I also do ghostwrite for people who you would never think that I wrote for them or that I write for them. So I've literally been in my truck, pull up at the light, waiting for it to change, and a car may pull up next to me and be 2 or 3 girls who look as good as you, who you would never think would be bumping certain music, or the music they're bumping, you would never think that I wrote. Wow. And I look to the side and I see them, you know,
dumbing
out to the music. Yeah, the bank account likes it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you know, and I just look and kind of chuckle, like they have no idea I wrote that, and let's keep it that way. You know what I mean? So that happens quite often, and it's a blessing. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say I ghostwrite for a lot of people. I've had records on the top of Billboard that people don't know that I have any involvement with. I've had records that have been, you know, nominated for different awards and things like that that people don't know I've been involved with, which is a blessing. I like to keep it that way.
That's super dope.
So my ghostwriting is there, and also my film and TV and script work is a big part of what I do as well. I was a part of a film called Patty Cakes that came out last summer. It started out in Sundance and, you know, the film festivals and things like that. And I was an associate producer on it. I had a part in it, so I'm in the actual film, and then I trained the lead actress on how to rap. So, you know, I had all these different hats going on in the film. It started out Indian, and the film wound up getting purchased by Fox Searchlight for $13 million.
Wow.
So then that turned into a whole different conversation that I happened to be a part of, which was a blessing. And
absolutely.
The movie came out in theaters nationwide last summer, and it was a big hit as far as the critics and the reviews and everything like that. So it was cool to be on that side of the fence as well. And now I'm more involved in that stuff, and I'm writing scripts and doing different things for different people. So there's the music side and the film side, and I'm just juggling. I'm just balancing, you know.
Okay, that's dope. Well, congratulations to you on that. That's a great milestone across. Now tell me, would you ever consider like acting, or is just music your lane?
Oh no, I mean I'm definitely looking into that, which is why I was fortunate enough to get into that side, like I said. And I don't know if I would become a full-fledged actor. I'm down to jump in a little bit here and there. Maybe I would, but I love writing. I love being behind the scenes. I love telling the story.
Yeah.
I love telling the story. So as long as I can tell a story, be it over a beat, be it in front of a camera, be it on a stage, 4 nights a week, whatever it is, I love to be the pen behind stories.
That's amazing. Now, so when you're coming up with your verses or the music for when you ghostwriting, where is it that you go to find your zen so that you can get the best dope rhymes possible?
For someone else?
For yourself or for someone else? Or how do you?
Well, if it's for someone else, it's a conversation I have with them. Let's say I was writing for you. You and I would have a conversation, and I would ask you, what do you want to talk about on this? What are you going through? What are you feeling? What energy are you in right now? What space are you in? Oh, I want something that feels good. I'm in this mood, or, I've been going through some things lately and I want to speak about that. We'd have conversations on that, and for me, that's research.
Okay.
So I would take those conversations and turn them into a record that sounds like you 100% wrote it. So now, as far as when I'm writing my own material, it's the same aesthetic, but just for me. I kind of have that conversation up here with myself, Yeah.
Okay. That was pretty dope. You went real deep on the sister real quick.
If I could break it down and just, let you know what it is, it makes it easier for the viewers at home to understand where we at.
Right, and that's dope. Now, tell me this, okay? I'm going to give you some, we're going to move on a little bit to some trivia questions.
Okay.
And so, tell me your top 5 MCs from the 90s.
Oh, we keeping it just in the 90s? Okay, well, I think they would all be from the 90s anyway, even if I just named overall. In no particular order, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Mos Def, that was like late 90s, but Mos Def, Black Thought. And that's 5, but the problem with when you name 5 is you have 5 more that you want to add.
Right.
Kweli, Scarface, Andre 3000, I feel like it's so interchangeable when people ask me the question, but
I know it's hard to pick because there's so many great ones. Jesus,
Jadakiss, like the Locks raised me from afar. You know what I mean? Like I grew up listening to them as a diehard fan and still am. So now for those guys to be my homies, it's surreal to me, But so you throw somebody like him in, so it's always interchangeable. But those 5.
Now I know we said we're gonna do trivia, but I just want to know one other thing.
Yeah.
Like if you were to collab with someone, who would that be?
Who I haven't already?
Yeah.
Dead or alive? Or
Either,
just
both.
Alive? Dead or alive? Big, Biggie. I'm from a block away from Biggie in Brooklyn. Like I literally grew up a block away.
Wow.
So Biggie, of course, I grew up watching him as a kid my whole life. I was a little kid when he was first getting on, so we looked up to him and said, "Oh, that could happen." Big, Kurt Cobain, which may throw people for a loop. His pen was so amazing. And Miles Davis. Hands down, Miles Davis is the most important person to me musically.
Yeah.
I named my son Miles after Miles Davis. Miles, for sure, Miles Davis.
Well, that was sweet.
But all 3 of them are gone, so I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
So who is your alive? Who would that be?
Oh man, let me see. I mean, Nas, Jay, Pharrell, Kanye, people like that. Herbie Hancock.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. Well, I'm a jazz head.
Are you?
Whether people know or don't know. Obviously, naming my son Miles. I'm a super jazz head. I listen to more jazz than hip hop on my off time.
Wow.
So if you get in my truck, it's
a lot of
jazz
in there?
and ESPN. Like those are the radio stations.
Really?
Jazz and ESPN. That's it. I'm a super duper jazz head. On Instagram, I do a thing called Sunday Morning Jazz, where every Sunday I put up a piece of vinyl that I have, straight jazz, and it's vinyl that I own. It's in my house. So like my vinyl could fill up this room as far as jazz vinyl. Like I have a pretty serious jazz collection. Yeah, like it's kind of bad. I haven't posted as much because my son keeps me so busy now. But
little man.
I have jazz is my life. So
now look, I know you mentioned Biggie.
yeah.
Okay, so after this question, we're gonna get back to trivia.
Okay.
But what do you think hip hop would be like if he was alive? Him and Pac.
Yeah, well, the both of them, I think it would be a little more authentic. I think the storytelling would still matter. It would have never left, right? I feel like the storytelling is kind of coming back.
It would just evolve.
I feel like there wouldn't have been a gap in between where that died. It's like that died and then came back. A lot of artists are kind of doing that now that are in the light, which is great. That wouldn't have died. I think the emotion wouldn't have died. There's certain elements that Big and Pac brought to the game that have come back.
Yeah.
There just wouldn't have been a gap. Those things would have never left. They would have stayed in the room,
Yeah, because they was two amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing lyrics.
I mean, two of the greatest of our time and pioneers of this culture.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're the reason why a lot of people, I think, started rapping.
Yeah,
because
100%.
of them. Their influences were amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so going back to the trivia.
Okay.
Give me now your freshman picks. You can give me just 2.
My what picks?
Freshman picks.
Like the young kids?
Yeah.
I don't know any. I'm gonna keep whoever you say, I'll sign off on. Just don't make me look bad.
Okay.
I don't know any, and I'm keeping it 100. And
Okay, so male or female? Male or female? Freshman picks. So we're gonna give Cardi B one, cause she's been doing her thing, right?
But she's huge. She's larger than life. Okay, female, 3D Nati. She's bananas.
Okay, we're gonna check her out.
Like She's from New Orleans. Bananas. Like she's out there. You know, if you look up bananas, one of the dopest MCs on the bubble that I've ever heard, male or female.
Wow.
Female wise, probably the best. Bananas. Like 3D not T. That's my one as far as female. Male, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Whoever you say. Boom.
Okay, well, we're going to move on from that one then.
Right.
Okay, so what's your drink of choice?
Hennessy.
Hennessy, Hennessy.
I'm from Brooklyn. So we if you cut me, I'll bleed Hennessy. You know what I mean? Hennessy.
Well, you know what? Because I seen that the guy got you some Hennessy.
Yeah, fan. Shout out to the supporter, the fan
So
out
he
there.
was already on it.
Brought me
Like,
a gift.
got
You know, yeah, I love Henny.
Okay. Yeah. All right, and then let me see. If you can choose between a female, thick or slim?
Slim thick.
Slim thick.
Yeah.
A lot of guys say that. So
Yeah.
y'all like them where if they have a baby, possibly she won't get too big.
Right.
After
But
she had a baby.
I'm a huge fan of curves. So yeah, I'm from New York, but my family's from the South. So that plays into that, I guess. You know what I mean?
Totally get it. Totally get it.
Absolutely.
Now, I totally appreciate you coming to speak with me. I know you have a show going on, so we're going to let you go ahead and get out there so you can get prepared because all the people ready to see you. They're here for this.
Thank you so much.
But the last thing I want to do first, we're going to let you close out the show. All right, so whenever you're ready, go ahead and close it out.
Peace, you know what it is. It's your man Skyzoo, Skyzoo, live out the borough, and I'm here with the lovely, the beautiful, the one and only Alexus Renée, and this is Celebrity Myxer.
See you guys next time.
It's a celebration of being nowhere near where that aim is. Trigger fingers turning quotation. Same fingers boxing you in to leave you vacant. Round of applause down the hall for all your patience. You in the hall up on the wall. Department of Correction letters hovered up over where your name is. You by the door, cabin down on the floor. 8 years of proof hovered up over where your name is.